Hello everybody! Today we're going to unbox, take a close-up look and test the Victure AC900 Action Camera. So let's go ahead and open up the box. So this is a sports action camera from Victure. It features a 4K Ultra HD video recording resolution. And it also features a 20 megapixel still image capture resolution. So taking a look at the back or underside of the box, there is a list of features. So it also does have a 170-degree wide-angle lens and Wi-Fi connectivity as well. So now let's go ahead and open up the box by cutting apart the sticky seal that's keeping the box securely closed. So flipping open the box lid or flap, we can take a quick look at the contents right there inside the box. Let's remove the contents from the box and lay them across the tabletop. And giving you a close-up look at the Victure AC900 Action Camera sitting very comfortably inside its box packaging. Let's continue to remove the contents from the box. And of course the action camera itself, making sure nothing else is left behind. Always check through to make sure nothing is secured or stowed away on the underside of the rest of the internal packaging of this Victure AC900 Action Camera box packaging. We're going to set that box on the right hand side of the frame right there and making some minor rearrangements just so you have a clear view of all the contents of this Victure AC900 Action Camera's accessories, as well as the rest of the materials that have come together with the action camera. So you can see the action camera is packed or packaged in its waterproof housing. But before we go ahead and look at the rest of the contents, let's have a look inside this box packaging here. It will more than likely contain the rest of the action camera's accessories. So as you can see, crammed full of items in this box. I'm just going to spread them out and then take a quick look one by one while it's still in its clear plastic packaging. I've done many action camera unboxings, and over time I've come to realize that opening each item one at a time does really draw out the length of the video, which makes it way too lengthy. So I'm just going to show the contents as they are in their clear plastic packets. And I'll have to do so very quickly as well, just so I don't make this video too long. So this is all the items. You can see it does appear to be some straps or belts. And moving on to the next item, there is a thumb screw part of a mount. Once the camcorder gets focused right there, and moving right along, you can see a handlebar mount for a bicycle right there. So a mounting post. And moving right along, another thumb screw mount, swivel mount right there. And moving along, a cleaning cloth with several zip ties and a cable, fastening cable, with 2 sticky adhesive pads. So you can see the list of items is really comprehensive. 2 pads or 2 clips, with adhesive pads on the reverse side, and another mount. This one is a clip mount. And moving right along, we do see what appears to be a USB-C USB charging cable, so a Type-C to USB Type-A cable right here in this packet, setting it down and moving right along. Another thumb screw mount right here. And then a couple of mounts. You can see they are screw-on or swivel mounts in their packets. Okay, so as you can see, just showing you the items in their packets is already taking a length of time. And of course there is a bracket or mount or action camera holder. So it feels pretty lightweight. And of course, what's nice to see is it does come with 2 batteries. The batteries I will show you because it's always quite important to know the dimensions and the specifications of the battery. So removing them from their clear plastic packets to show you. So they are lithium ion batteries, and they do have the Victure branding on them. And showing you the reverse side, so you have a good idea of the size and of course the design of the battery should you require more additional batteries. So right there, very handy to see that it comes included with 2 batteries, because 1 battery is hardly ever enough. So 2 batteries here, setting them down, and of course there is a spare cover for the waterproof housing. Okay, so pretty standard list of accessories without being too excessive as well. I think that's about the bare minimum right there. Okay, so just showing you right across the screen. So a whole host of accessories. And now we have to take a quick look at the user manual and what the contents of them are. So just let me make some quick adjustments so you can see everything that is included with this Victure AC900 Action Camera. Okay, so all contents nicely laid out across the tabletop for your maximum experience, so that you know what does come included with this Victure AC900 Action Camera. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the cards as well. So there is a Victure card with a thank you note for purchasing the Action Camera and some support details as well should you require support with the product. Okay, so good to see that you can always contact Victure should you require assistance with the product. And taking a look at the second item, there is a card here that allows you or grants you a gift should you follow through with the instructions on the card. And then of course there is what appears to be the accessory mounting guide for the Victure AC900 Action Camera. So over here we'll see a list of all the accessories and fixtures and mounting gear that we've removed from the box packaging, so giving you a close-up look so you can identify the various accessories and mounting products that have come with this Victure AC900 Action Camera. So taking a look at the reverse side and right there, so that's the Victure AC900 accessories mounting guide. And lastly, we do have the user manual. So I'm going to shift that box in a little bit more. And now we have the Victure AC900 Action Camera's user manual, and you can see just how thick it is. It is really a booklet more than anything else. However, I'm sure that this will cover several languages. So taking a look on the first page, you can see that this user manual covers 6 different languages. And just taking a look at the contents page and then a quick flip through on the inside, just so you're aware what the user manual contents entail. So you can see very neatly laid out in high quality text, print and diagrams. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, one of the features of this action camera is being able to connect via Wi-Fi. And there is an app called the YKJ app. It can be downloaded from the App Store for free and used in connecting the action camera to a mobile device. Okay, so just a quick flip through for your reference of this action camera's user manual. And there we've covered the entire English section of the user manual for the Victure AC900 Action Camera. The rest is in other languages, so I'll just set that down and move on to the action camera itself. So moving on, we finally get to the Victure AC900 Action Camera itself. Right here, sitting neatly in its clear waterproof housing right there. And it does have a touchscreen as well, so this is higher up on the action camera scale, having a touchscreen. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, this is a 4K Ultra HD resolution video recording sports action camera with a 20 megapixel still image recording quality. So right there you can see that it does have a clip mount already fitted onto the waterproof housing. You can see that it does have a pretty big piece right there at the top of the waterproof housing. And let's go ahead and open it up in just a second, but you can see that 4K symbol there denoting the Ultra HD recording resolution of this action camera. So I'm going to rest it in the palm of my hand just so you have some idea of the size of this action camera. So right there, sitting comfortably in the palm of my hand, giving you some sense of scale and perspective of this action camera. Of course, it is housed inside its waterproof housing, so we can always pop that out, so let's do that. But first, one last direct look at this Victure AC900 Action Camera. Okay, so we're going to pop it out from its housing, so you can see it does have a very non-standard fastening system there with a big block of plastic at the top and a little ring there. And let's flip the lid open, if I may do so. Let's do it this way, yes. Let's figure this out. So I think there's a bit of vacuum sealing to it right now, being shut for quite a while, so there we go. So there's a bit of pressure right there, or suction, and that's the action camera sat comfortably in its waterproof housing. And so here we go, one nice look directly at this Victure AC900 action camera that's just been removed from its waterproof housing. So it does feel very solid and does have a noticeable weight to it, and that matte black finish does give it a very stealthy appearance, and with its soft rounded corners does give it a nice svelte look as well. So very sleek. Let's set the waterproof housing down and take a close-up look at the action camera. So now, all naked, the Victure AC900 action camera, once the camcorder achieves focus on it, right there, looking really nice in my fingertips, this Victure AC900 action camera with 4K Ultra HD resolution and touchscreen. So it does have the 170-degree wide angle lens, which is pretty much standard in today's action camera market. So giving you an all-round look as best I can, of course trying to achieve that autofocus right there. So nice clear look at the action camera. Giving you an all-round look. So you can see, being a touchscreen camera, it has minimal number of buttons on it. It's just a button at the top and a button on the front for instant operation, of course. And taking a look on the underside for that camcorder to focus on. So you can see a screw mount there, and of course the battery compartment. And this time around giving you a sense of size, resting in the palm of my hand right there. This time naked without its waterproof housing. You can see it is a rather small piece with a very stealthy design to it, being a matte black with those soft rounded corners. Does make it look or appear rather premium, and it is, of course, with its 4K touchscreen. So let's, once we get focus again, my camcorder is really struggling to get autofocus on this really stealthy looking action camera from Victure. Okay, so now let's pop open the battery compartment. So this one is a slide out compartment, and it is hinged, which is good to see, so you're not really going to lose your battery cover at all. And taking a look inside, So far, this action camera does feel really, really robust in design, and I do have one of the two included lithium-ion batteries right there. So looking into the battery compartment, it is hinged, it's a slide-out compartment, and popping the battery in simply like that and sliding the cover back on does feel really, really premium in design, rather than the removable clip-on covers that we're so used to experiencing or unboxing on this YouTube channel. So now let's turn the power on by pressing on the front power button, and you can see it started up pretty instantly with a triple beep. So I'm going to give you that close-up look. You can see just how wide that lens is, being 170 degrees wide. So a very good scope as I point towards the front of the room here, or the studio, being able to cover the full length of the wall. That's about a couple of meters in front of us, and the sides as well. And taking a look at the front this time around with the power being on. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the menus. And let's wake it up again. Let's press on that top button. So you can see just how responsive that touchscreen is. Of course, the protective film is still on the screen and on the lens. I'll remove that when I start recording, so you will see raw footage of it later on, or raw footage of recording. So touching on the top left hand side of the screen, you can see that it does have a menu here showing video, time-lapse record, slow motion, Wi-Fi, photo and playback. Let's see if there's more to it. Nope. However, I can tell you the screen is very crisp and clear, really sharp, very impressive in quality, just amazingly clear and crisp. Right there, very good definition on the screen. And you can see as I scroll through the menus, it's telling me to insert an SD card. So right there, once again, please insert SD card. So of course, this camcorder does take a micro SD card. So let's find out where the slot is. Let's pop out the flap on this side. So there is a flap that's covering. Let's see what we discover on this side. So the flap is hinged, as you can see, and showing the side of the flap, you can see the connectors right there. It does have a micro USB slot on the left and a HDMI slot right next to it. Okay, and let's find out where the micro SD card slot is. So popping that flap back on and looking around the camcorder or action camera. Let's pop out the battery compartment, and you can see that the micro SD card slot is at the front. And let me just turn off the camcorder. And show you where that slot is. So it's right under the battery compartment. I'll remove the battery so you can see a little bit more clearly right there. So a very, very slim spot for the micro SD card to slot into, but it's nice to see that it is in a position or spot or location that is covered by this battery compartment flap, or you can also call it to include it as a micro SD card flap as well. So it gives it that extra protection. Let's turn the camcorder back on by pressing on that front button. Once again, that triple beep and that prompt to say please insert SD card slot or SD card, and take a look at the menu once again. So all those options right there. However, it does prompt for the SD card mostly. So just giving you a look at the various menus of the, let's see if we can get out of this menu right there and navigate throughout the rest of the Victure AC900 Action Camera. So recording resolution, so you can see just how responsive that screen is. So up to 4K, and I believe that P30 represents 30 frames per second, and so on and so forth. 2.7K, 30 frames per second at a 4:3 aspect ratio, and so on and so forth. So giving you hopefully a nice good look. At the various recording resolutions of this Victure AC900 Action Camera. So a whole host of recording resolutions. So let's set it at the 4K one, and I'll be recording at 4K and showing that to you at the end of this video. There's loop recording as well, various settings right there. As you can see, let's turn it off. And wide dynamic range, or WDR, let's leave it off. We'll turn it on. So I've turned WDR on, as you can see, so I'll be recording at that. EV, and its various settings right there, which is the exposure value, and going back, recording audio, of course, and date stamp off on. Let's go back. EIS, electronic image stabilization, let's leave it off, no real need for that. Time-lapse recording, we have 1 second, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and a minute. Going back, slow motion at 720p at 240 frames per second, or VGA at 240 frames per second as well. And this is driving mode, so this action camera can be used while you're driving as well. And codec, there's a H.264 or H.265 setting, and snapshot in recording, so off 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or 30 seconds. So that's a whole list of settings for the video mode. Let's have a look at the general settings. So there's date time. Let's go back. Okay, and there is auto power off, being 3 minutes. Let's have a look. It's currently at 3 minutes, or there's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or off 1 or 2. So various options there. And going back, screensaver, 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minute, 10 minute, or off. Its default is 1 minute. And then beep sound, off on. Language, English, France, Spanish, Portuguese, German, Italian, and different various of Chinese, Russian, Japanese, and so on and so forth. And frequency, let's have a look, 50 Hertz or 60 Hertz. Let's set it to 60. Let's go back, make sure that that was recognized. And ISO as well, auto 100, 200, 400, 800, or 1600. And image effect, there's color, image effect, color, black and white, sepia, sketch, color pencil, negative, cool green, warm yellow. So various settings right there, and scene, auto, portrait, or landscape. So interestingly, it gives you that option, and then we're just in there, and white balance, auto, daylight, cloudy, tungsten, fluorescent, driving mode. So various options. You can see very comprehensive list of settings there, and that's the distortion correction, off or on. Let's leave it at off. Night mode as well. Let's see, off or on. Angle, large, medium, or small. Image rotation, off or on. Format lets you format your micro SD card. Or is it the settings? Let's have a look. Okay, and I think I've accidentally returned all the settings to the default settings, but I'll set them back on, or back to what I mentioned earlier, and we'll be recording at those settings. So Victure AC900, that is the version of this Victure AC900 Action Camera. Okay, so that's the lot there, and there we go. So very extensive or comprehensive list of settings. So let's set them back to what I will be recording on so you are aware. So very simply, just popping out of this menu, tapping on the bottom left hand side one, and for resolution I'll be recording at 4K right there. And then of course WDR, let's turn it back on. And can you remember what else I have set? Nope, I think that's it. And of course the frequency as well. So we're going to set the frequency at 60. Right there. So those are the settings that I'll be recording at. So 4K Ultra HD resolution at 30 frames per second at 60 Hertz frequency. And that's that. So that's the whole host of recording options right there of this Victure AC900 Action Camera. Okay, and obviously popping on that top button does record. It's always prompting me to insert a micro SD card every time I pop that button on. So WDR on, 4K Ultra HD resolution at 30 frames per second and 60 Hertz setting. So that's what I'll be recording on or at. And just pressing around generally on the screen just to see what other options there are. So recording can be done via this red record button as well, or at the top with the physical button on top of the action camera. Let's see if we can move that button around. They'll be asking too much, but nonetheless, always worth a try. So settings on the bottom left hand side of the screen, and the recording and playback settings or options are on the top left hand side. And we can also toggle using the front button right there on the front of the action camera. So you can see just how crisp that screen is. I'm just going to give you a close-up look at how wide that wide angle lens is in capturing the studio right here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and test the Victure AC900 Action Camera outdoors.
Dit is Shrek. Let's get off. I'll show you something. Can we get down? No, you can if you want.